Morning, everyone. Welcome from wherever you are. We'll start in 1 minute. There are still people starting to come in. Some familiar names here and some not familiar. Welcome, everyone. Okay, welcome everyone. Let's get started. Be a little bit of housekeeping at the start anyway, and so some more people can join. Welcome to this guidance session, English language guidance session on the European Microfinance Award 2023. We're very happy that you've joined us. My name is Sam Mendelsohn. I'm Financial Inclusion Specialist at the European Microfinance Platform, or EMFP. I'm joined by Fernando and also two of the other members of the award team, Joanna and Daniel, and some of the other colleagues as well. These sessions started about this is the third time that we've done sessions like this, and we began it 3 years ago in order to help potential applicants understand the process, to simplify, but to give a short presentation on what the topic is about and the process, but also to be able to answer questions and make clear if you do have questions to answer how to do so. A little bit of housekeeping. This is a webinar, as you see. That means everyone is initially muted. Please, you can either post questions in the chat. There is also the Q&A function enabled, or if after Fernando and I have given our short intro presentations, you would like to ask a question orally, then please raise your hand and we will unmute you and you could do so. So there are a lot of ways to do that. So a little bit about what's going to happen today. I don't know why the screen keeps zooming in and out like that, but hopefully it'll sort itself out. I'm going to give a short presentation on the topic, the background to the award, the scope of this year's topic, and the eligibility requirements. And then I'm going to hand off to Fernando, who's going to walk you through the system of how the application form works, what it looks like, etc. And then we'll take as many questions as you wish. We've got up to an hour if we need it, but that will be really determined by all of you what you would like to know if you have any questions. So a little bit about the award itself. This is the 14th edition of the award. It started in 2006. It was biennial for the first couple of editions, but since 2014, it has been an annual award. And it attracts applications from organizations that are active in the financial inclusion sector that are innovating in a different area of financial inclusion. So each year, as you will know, surely the award changes. This year, it's on inclusive finance for food security and nutrition. Last year, financial inclusion that works for women. Before that, access to inclusive healthcare. Before that, encouraging effective and inclusive savings. So each year it has a different focus, but the overarching goals stay the same, which is the award seeks to reward excellence, collect and to disseminate the best practices in a particular area of financial inclusion for replication by others. It's co-organized by 3 organizations, by EMFP, by the Luxembourg Ministry for Foreign and European Affairs, MAEE, and Infine, which is the Luxembourgish Financial Inclusion Network. The benefits of the award, and you'll see in the chat several times, Fernando's going to post the link to the guidelines if you haven't seen them already. There are many benefits to the award. First and foremost, and the the sort of headline is the financial award. There is 100,000 euros for the winner and 10,000 euros for each of the two runners-up. But our experience over the years is that the value goes far beyond just the financial award to the 3 finalists. There is a great deal of exposure that can come from this. The 10 semi-finalists, and we'll get to the process later, get profiled in an annual publication that is widely read, usually on the top 10 list of FinDev. It's widely disseminated. We know that it's used as a teaching resource. And though that includes 10 case studies of what we call the semi-finalists, which is the final 10. And of them, the 3 finalists are taken. There are also guest blogs. There are follow-up stories. There are videos, professional videos taken of the 3 finalists initiatives. So there is a whole range of benefits that go beyond the financial award. So let's move to the next slide, Fernando, and talk a little bit about this year's award. You will certainly have seen this blurb, this sentence previously, because it was on the materials that advertised this session. And the objective is to highlight best practices and innovations by financial inclusion organizations to safeguard access to quality and affordable food for vulnerable populations and to increase resilience of sustainable food systems. That is undeniably a mouthful, but all of the components in there are important, and we will unpick it a bit. And you'll see when you do the round 1 application form how those different elements are judged and assessed. And the reason why this has been chosen is that this is a problem that is getting likely worse for a combination of factors. After decades of optimism about innovations in the green revolution, progress has largely stalled or even reversed. A combination of the pandemic, of the macroeconomic and geopolitical environment. There's a global inflationary issues, and so the topic has never been more timely to look at how we can safeguard access to this most fundamental of needs for low-income people. So let's move to the next slide. So what will applicants be asked to demonstrate over the course of the award? These points here broadly structure the format of the application form, and we'll go into a bit more detail of that. But broadly speaking, the evaluation teams, of which there are several, and we'll also talk about that, want to see that initiatives that respond to these challenges by understanding the context, that focus on a safeguarding or increasing of access to quality, affordable, and sustainable food, that there is a monitoring system in place to be able to genuinely evaluate what are the outcomes, what are the impact of any initiative, and also a sense of lessons learned and future plans we ask for as well. So that's broadly what is in the application form. Next slide, please. And you have seen the links so far to the guidelines, and perhaps you've seen them already. The guidelines are designed to be really comprehensive support material, and so some of the questions you may have might be the answers found in there, and they cover both the topic and the process. On the topic, there is a background and context of the challenge, the role that the financial inclusion sector can play, and specifically financial inclusion organizations and how they may do that. These will include financial and non-financial services, direct and indirect interventions, and we'll give some different examples of responses that are categorized alongside the 4 dimensions of food security that you can see there that are that the FAO has outlined, which is availability, access, utilization, and stability. These are not the only way of framing this topic, and if the document itself shows other ways, including a continuum, the nature of what people call hidden hunger. Important not to think of hunger as a binary state between people who are starving or people who are not. The reality is that for many people, it's having cutting back on the quality or the quantity of available food in order to make ends meet. So that is a little bit about the award guidelines. If we can move to the next slide, please. Let's talk about the eligibility criteria. We have always sought to be as expansive as possible in eligibility here. So it is not limited to what we would call traditional MFIs at all, but more broadly to organizations that are working in. I don't know why we keep losing that share screen. I'm sorry about that, but you can see it now. What kind of it's open to organizations that are working in the financial inclusion sector. This will include, for as an example, different types of financial services provider that directly provide financial services. So MFIs, NBFIs, commercial banks, VSLAs, and the like, but will also include non-financial organizations that facilitate access to financial services in partnerships or other relationships, as long as that partnership is sufficiently strong and demonstrable. And we can get into that. And if you have questions, if you are a potential applicant who doesn't directly provide financial services, but have relations with those who do, and you want to talk about eligibility, then we can always answer that on a case-by-case basis too. The second point is that the entity must be based and operate in a country that is in a list. The link is in the guidelines, and that's called the DAC list, from least developed all the way up to upper middle income. That is a defined list. That is a strict criterion. You are either eligible or you're not. The organization as a whole must be fully operational for at least 2 years, and if there is a specific initiative that's being put forward, then it has to have been operational for 1 year. Finally, there are exclusions for prior winners. You cannot submit initiative that is the same or similar to the one that previously won. So if you are an organization that has previously won this award, and that is a small list, you cannot submit something that is the same or similar. And secondly, the last 5 winners, so that is 2018 to 2022 inclusive, are not eligible to win this, or not eligible to apply for this award. Can we move on, please? A little bit about the process. It is a multi-stage process. This, the one that opened 2 weeks ago, was round 1. This is a short form and designed to be comparatively focused and straightforward to fill in. It asks for an overview of the institution, so some high-level institutional data and about, and then on the strategy that is being put forward, there will be questions about the understanding the food security and nutrition context, an open-ended question to explain what are the specific issues where you work. There are questions about the initiative or response itself, and then some high-level questions on monitoring and outcomes. You also need to submit the audited financial statements for the last 3 years. If that is not possible, for example, if last year's ones have been not yet audited, we have various processes to deal with that, and there is scope for audited financial statements to be submitted during round 2 for those that are successful. But the general requirement is 3 years of AFS. As you will know, the deadline to apply is at the end of April 12th, so midnight European time at the end of April 12th. Successful applicants will be invited to round 2. And there, that's a longer form. There is more supporting documentation required. There is a letter of support required from an e-MFP member. We are very able to facilitate that. If you do not have an existing relationship with an e-MFP member, we can help with that. We are very used to doing that. But the form overall asks for more things. It is both broader and deeper, and gives a more comprehensive view for the pre-selection committee, which meets a selection committee of experts, which meets in September, to be able to to work out which of those are suitable to be selected as semi-finalists and then as finalists. I think that the selection committee, just to finalize the process, there are 2 rounds of pre-selection committees. The selection committee will narrow down and choose 10 semi-finalists, and among them 3. And then finally, there is a high jury, which meets during European Microfinance Week. This is a group of typically 7 opinion leaders and experts. It's usually chaired by, it usually has the relevant Luxembourg minister on the committee, usually chaired by the Grand Duchess of Luxembourg, and they will evaluate the 3 finalists and among them choose the finalist, which is announced at a ceremony during European Microfinance Week. The finalists are invited to the ceremony that is covered, and there will be videos presented of the initiatives, and there's plenty more information in the guidelines, and we can give you more detail if you want about that. I think that's enough now. All applicants will be advised, whether at every stage if they've been successful or not, so you don't need to worry about that. And it's time now I'm going to hand over to Fernando. He's going to share the browser window of the form that is used and talk through how you can do that. At the same time, just to reiterate, put questions in the chat if you wish. Q&A is actually easier, so prefer that. It's easier for us to see them if you have any, or you can raise your hand and we'll take any questions that you might have. As this may be the last you'll hear from me, I just want to say thanks for joining us today. If you are going to apply for this award, wish you very good luck. It is a rigorous but a great process. We've been doing this for many, many years, and the course of that we've met cumulatively hundreds of different organizations one way or another, and we're very proud of it. And while it does ask a reasonable amount of applicants, it for sure gives back as well, and it is well worthwhile. So I'll hand over to Fernando now. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Sam. Good morning, everyone. This is Fernando. I am very happy for being here with you today, and welcome to this webinar to introduce you to the European Microfinance Award 2023 on inclusive finance for food security and nutrition. As you can see on the screen, all applications are done online through the link europeanmicrofinanceaward.com. So we're going to walk you through the application process. Please, I will post the link on the chat so you can go directly. Just give me a second, please. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so you can click directly on the link, and this will take you to the website that I am going to share now. Okay, you can see my screen now, right? Perfect. So this is the website for the award, and then you can find all the relevant information here, including the award guidelines that Sam was talking about. If you scroll down, you will find here all the relevant information, the description, the deadlines, and the guidelines in 3 languages. In this case, of course, we use the English one, the first one here. You have also the link on the chat. So please go ahead and read this document carefully, because it has all the important information about the concepts, the relevant concepts of the award, the deadlines, the stages, even some suggestions for you to approach the topic of the award this year. So we really encourage you to read this document carefully. Well, here, right next to the award visuals, you will have this button. You will find this button that says Apply Now, Postule, and Postule in the 3 languages. So you can click here, and this will take you to the award application website. And you will see this screen where you can find on the left the registration part. This is in case you haven't registered yet in previous editions of the award. If you were already an applicant in the past, let's say last year, you can already go directly to the login part on the right. Yeah, and then you can use the same credentials to log into your account. If you don't remember your password, if you were an applicant in the past, you can easily recover your password here where it says forgot password. Okay. Otherwise, if you've never applied, please register. Yeah, you can choose your language here, in this case English. Then you can fill in all these fields, and it's very important that you enter the right email address, because this email address will be used throughout the process. So we will use this email address to contact you at every stage. We will not give you all notifications. So please make sure that you use the right email address. Of course, if in the process, this changes, because we understand that some institutions might have initially one person in charge of applying, and then in the middle of the process, this might change. You can also change the email address through the system, and I will show you this later. Okay, so please choose a password with these indications, and then what is really important is that you agree to receive notifications and communication emails. See this second checkbox, please make sure to check it, because this is what we use to communicate everything, all the relevant information through the system. So it's an automatic system of communication. So every time we want to tell you something about your application, about how is the progress of your application, we will do it through the system. So if we don't check this box, we won't be able to communicate with you, and maybe we'll have to follow up in other ways, but it's not ideal because we have many applications, and the best thing to do is at the moment of registration, please go ahead and check this box. Okay, so now I will log in with my credentials. So we have a test application now. So we will assume that we already have an account. Okay, so I will use this, and then I will enter my password here. Okay. Okay, it's a long password, but it's better like that. Here you can see the landing page on the system. Yeah, so you find all the information about the award timeline at the beginning. Then you have what it's relevant for us now, round one application information. So you have here also the link to the award guidelines. If you click here, it will take you to the PDF document that you have also on the chat here on Zoom. And also you can see here the application form in Word. Yes, so we have the Word version of the application form. If you click here, this will take you to a link where you can download this form and work offline. We understand that sometimes institutions prefer to work offline. And also, we understand that institutions might have different people filling in the application in different sections. So maybe they prefer to work in a Word version before submitting the applications through the system. But something important that I want to tell you is that all applications must be submitted through the system. So even though if you prefer to work online, please make sure that at the end you take all these answers and put it on the system. We will walk you through the system, and it's a very user-friendly system. Yeah, it's very intuitive. So once you have all the answers in the Word document, if you prefer to do so, please copy all these answers and paste it on the system. Otherwise, you can work directly on the system, and you can do it step by step. If you don't finish today or the day that you start, you can save and you can log in the next day. So it's very easy to do so. Okay, and here you also have our email, the official European Microfinance Award email, emaward@emfp.eu. So please, every question that you have, every comment that you want to make, you can of course do it at the end of the session here. But if you want to ask anything to us, please, through all the process, please do so through this email. Okay, so if I scroll down, you can see here that I have already my application started. Yeah, that says Test Fernando. Otherwise, you will have to click on this button that says Start Application. Yeah. So since I already have my application, this means that I have already been working here before. So I'm going to start to retake the process. So let's click on my name, and this will take me to the interface that you will be seeing when you apply. Okay. So first thing that we have to do is to type our organization's name here. So I call it Test Fernando, but this is important that you put the main name of your organization. Of course, if you have a long name, yeah, you can do so, but if it's very long, maybe you want to use more the commercial name, the name that you usually use. At some point, we will be asking you, or you will be telling us the complete name of your organizations when you submit all these legal documents, such as the audited financial statements. And then, of course, this is very important for our records. But if it's a very long name, maybe you want to use a name that it's easier to manage. Okay. Well, you can also download here the PDF of the application just for reference. Of course, the PDF you won't be able to fill in this document. That's why we also give you the chance to work on the Word document. But in case you want to have an overview of the application, you can download the PDF for reference. Okay. Once you have your name, you just click Save and Next. Every time that we fill in one section, we're just going to click Save and Next. So this will take us to the next tab, as you can see on the top, right? We started on details. Now we are on round 1, general information. Yeah, and you will always see on the top also the link to the award guidelines. So now you understand how important this document is for you as an applicant and for the evaluators as well. So please read it carefully. And here we have something important that says you can modify your answers at any time before submitting. Yeah, so in case that you want to change something from a previous tab, you just click on the tab. Here again, we are on the details and we can edit. Yeah. All right, so we were here on the general info, and then this is basically information about your institution. Yeah, actually at the beginning is more about yourself as an applicant, as the person in charge of doing this application. So in this part, you can put your name. I will just write Fernando, title and position. I will write here coordinator, and then you can write your phone number, please, here. And then we ask you some questions about how you heard about the award. You can check the page or the website or the means that you use to get here to the award. And here I want to tell you something about the e-MFP support letter, because it's an important part of the process, but it shouldn't be something that prevents you to apply at the beginning. I will tell you why, and I will put the link. Actually, now it's the best time to do so. I will paste the link on the chat where you can find the list of members, of e-MFP members. There, You can see all the members, institutional members, individual members, and all types of organizations of individuals that you can ask for a support letter in the process. Okay, but at the beginning, what I wanted to tell you is that in this part, you don't need to provide the letter yet. You just need to tell us if you already have some kind of contact with one of these EMFP members that that are on the list that I posted on the chat. Yeah, so we have an idea of who you are in contact with or who could support your applications in the next stage. Okay, if you don't have yet contact with one of the EMFP members at this stage, don't worry. It shouldn't be something that prevents you to apply. You can just tell us in this part that you haven't contacted anyone yet. Yeah, and in the process, if you make it to the next stage, we will try to find a solution. We will make our best to find a solution to put you in contact with one of our members, who usually work with other networks of members. So in these 10 years that we have done the process of the award, I think we have always found a solution for institutions that haven't had any contact with one of our members. So we will work on this if your application makes it to the next stage. Okay, so here, just go ahead and tell us if you already have a contact or not, and we will figure it out later on. Okay, well, we can go to the next tab. As you can see, we start with the institutional overview of your organization. Please tell us the name, these important facts as the year established. If you have a website, please go ahead and put it here. Something important that I want to tell you now is that you will find sometimes this optional term next to some of the questions, okay, like here on the website. This is a very good example because there might be institutions that don't have a website. Maybe they are very small. They provide some type of financial services, but they haven't built a website yet. Okay, so of course, I think most of the institutions will have something to put here. But if you don't have this information, you will find as an optional field. But this doesn't mean that it's not important. All optional fields, we put it like this because we acknowledge that it's very difficult to fit exactly all types of institutions. Yeah, so we don't want to prevent institutions to apply just because we make the fields compulsory. So sometimes we just put these optional fields, but it doesn't mean that it's not important. If you have the information, please put it because everything is relevant and everything will be assessed by the evaluators. Yeah, so the only reason is because we don't want to make it mandatory for applicants that might not have some type of information, so they can still apply. Okay, so please go ahead and fill all this information about your institution, type of organizations, regulatory status, and of course, here we start asking you about the main mission of your organization. As you can see here, for example, in 1.9, an introduction of your organization. Yeah, it's a short description. We just want to know what your institution does. And then you will have some tables, and you can see they are also marked as optional. Yeah, but of course, if you have this information, please go ahead and fill in, because this might determine your qualification to the next round. So it's really important that you try to fill in as much as you can. Yeah. So we have here we usually ask you information for the last 3 financial years, as you can see, 2022, 2021, and 2020. And we also ask you about an overall picture of your institutions, such as the number of clients in urban, in rural areas, number of clients older than 60 years old, younger than 25 years old. This is, as you can see, important information to have an overall picture of what is the position of your organization. Okay, we can keep going because I think it's been clear, but if you have some questions at the end, please let us know. We are getting to the essential part of the application, which is component 2. You can find here round 1, component 2 to A. This is information about your food and security initiative. Yeah, so as my colleague Sam was explaining, we will be focusing on these 4 main points when evaluating your application. How much you understand about the food and security context, yeah, where you operate. What are you doing to safeguard or increase the access to quality, affordable, and sustainable food? The third point is really important, as well as the other two, no? Monitoring and outcomes. Yeah, it's really important to show how you are following, how you are monitoring your results, and how do you know if your strategy is effective. Okay, and finally, we will ask you something about lessons learned and future plans. No? So this implies previous work in the past, how you have seen this evolution, and what do you think that it will be the future of your initiative or the mission of your organizations. Okay. So here you will find this is actually it's only one question. You have a limit of 400 words, but please try to be as detailed as possible here, because every sentence that you write, everything that you tell us, it can be really relevant. It can be very important for us to determine if qualified for this be as detailed as possible. Then we keep going, and then this is the second part of the second the second point of these 4 that I just told you about, and this is about your strategy, yeah, where you will tell us what you are actually doing to address or to approach the topic of this year's award on food security and nutrition. And here, as my colleagues we are looking for a clear strategy, a clear program, a clear response. You know, the topic is very interesting, yeah, and you can have specific programs to address food security and nutrition, but you can also have some very important response. It might not be a program itself, it might be just a response. And I can give you an example now. It's like maybe you can make sure through your response that your clients have enough resources to, for example, if they have some loans, to pay the loans, but they are not sacrificing their food consumption. For example, institutions that take care of this, like they are very aware that clients sometimes might be paying loans and sacrificing some parts of their food consumption. Yeah, so if institutions have this awareness, and they are trying to be more flexible for their clients, so they can facilitate the payments, at the same time make sure that clients are accessing to food or keep their normal access to food. So this is a very relevant response. So it might not be a specific program or initiative, but it's of course very important to explain here. And please go ahead and include all what you are doing in the field of food security. Okay. Then we keep going, and we get to the monitoring and outcome section. That here is where we will be asking you how do you know that your strategy is being effective? Yeah, so please tell us here. The first question is just text. So please go ahead and explain us how you make sure that your strategy is getting the targets, or if your strategy is working. And then we ask you for some indicators, as you can see here. If you have more indicators, please include them. Yeah, we just put here 3 fields, but if you need more space, you can see here this button that says add a row. Yeah. And something important that I want to tell you now, it's like we have created a link with some examples of indicators. Yeah. I will put here on the chat this link. Yeah. So these are just examples, as you can see, but it might provide you some valuable information, because sometimes maybe we don't know how to what we have the indicators, but indicators, but maybe we don't know where they are, or we don't know if they will be useful. So if you read this document with some examples of the indicators, you will might have more ideas to provide here as well your information. Okay, so now we go to component 3. This is a different section on the application. Here we are not asking anymore about your strategy for food security and nutrition. We just want to know your financial performance. Yeah, and this is where we need to provide the audited financial statements, as Sam was saying at the beginning. Yeah, so when you get here, you will see all the instructions to do so. But something I wanted to tell you now is that we need, at this stage in round 1, which is open until April 12th, that we need the audited financial statements with the auditor's letter. Yeah, they have to be signed, and we have to get the auditor's letter. So please upload this information. You have here the fields to do so. And also something that I want to say about the financial statements is that, as you can see, the eligibility criteria, yeah, we look for institutions that have been active at least for 2 years, the last 2 years. Yeah, of course, we're asking for the audited financial statements of 3 years. Yeah, but if you just started 2 years ago, you want to have the audited financial statements for 2020, for example. Yeah. So of course, if you just started 2 years ago, you don't have to provide 2020 audited financial statement. That's why you find here these notes. No, this is optional only for those organizations that started operations in 2021. Otherwise, it's compulsory. Okay. Yes. So also, something important that I want to tell you is that we understand that audited financial statements 2022, means last year, are still in process. No, some institutions even they have different endings for their financial years. Maybe they end in March or June in this year from last year. So it can vary through institutions. But if it's the case, please tell us. You don't have to provide the financial statements for 2022 if you don't have it yet. Yeah, we will follow up, of course, in the process, and we will be asking you if you, especially if you go further in the process, we will be asking you for the audited financial statements of 2022, so we can have the complete information. Yeah, but if you don't have them yet, please don't worry. Go ahead and apply. We want to receive your applications. Yeah, just tell us that you will be receiving this in the following months, and as soon as you have them, you will share them with us. Okay. Audited financial statements for 2021 are mandatory for everyone. Yeah, for institutions that don't finish yet their financial year 2022. Of course, 2021 is mandatory, and for institutions that have started operating 2 years ago, of course, 2021 is also mandatory. Okay. Great. So here you have at the end a field. It's a short field where you can just tell us what if you have to provide any indication, any information about your financial statements, such as that you don't have them yet, or if you are submitting a draft version of your financial statements for any reason, and you will be submitting the official versions later on, please tell us here on this field. Okay, and finally, this is the last tab on the application form, and it's just the confirmation and consent about the process of application. So once you are sure of everything that you have filled in the previous sections, you just go ahead and check this. Please, of course, read first that you consent that and you agree with all these statements, which is basically that the information that you have provided is real, yeah, and that you agree to receive notifications through the process. And once you are ready with these fields, here, this is very important, and this is the final part of my explanation. Since this is the last section, make sure that once you are ready, you click on Submit Application. Yeah, of course, in previous section, as you have seen, we have clicked on Save and Next. Save and Next. If we want to go back, we can go back here on the top as well to any of the sections. You can even preview your application here before submitting. But once you are ready, click on Submit Applications, because if you don't click here, we will assume that your application is still in progress or that you decided not to submit your applications at the end. Yeah, so it's really important that at the end you click on Submit Application. Okay, I think that's it on the system. Yeah, I hope it was clear for you. And of course, if you have questions, we are here to answer them. Now would be the time. Maybe let's see if we have some already. I think I saw something on the Q&A, or no, not yet.
Yeah, there was a one question about the banking correspondent model, which we've addressed. I think everyone should be able to see that. But if you have any other questions, you can either ask them now, you can either put up your hand and ask, or put them in the chat. Or if you'd prefer to do that bilaterally, perhaps if it is a specific case, and we've had this before, where there's an unusual case on eligibility, usually, please use the email address that you've seen several times. That's a dedicated email address for the award. Fernando, maybe you could put in the chat one last time, and that we'll be able to get back to you quickly. Just put in as much detailed information as you can, and we'll answer. We'll answer any questions that arise on a case-by-case basis. That's no problem. So if there's nothing else now, yes, so yeah, EMA Award at emfp.eu. If there are no other questions now, there will also be a Spanish language equivalent of this session at 4 p.m. European. We do have a hand up from Joshua. Yes. Okay, if you'd like to speak, okay, Joshua, if you'd like to speak, you should be able to unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Yeah, hi. We are a solar energy company that deals that extends solar energy in the agricultural value chains. So I wanted to find out if we can jointly bid with a savings society in areas where we operate.
So I didn't hear the first part. You're a solar provider, an off-grid provider, is that right?
Yes, we're a solar energy company that extends solar energy in the agricultural value chain. Solar water pumping, food processing, and probably we are venturing into cold storage facility.
And do you offer financial services yourself, or is that through your savings partner?
No, we are partnering currently with cooperative societies.
Yep.
That where a lot of farmers are members.
I mean, the answer is, and my colleagues can jump in if they wish, but the answer is yes, you absolutely can jointly apply. We've had that plenty of times before, and we do encourage that. You'll just need to be clear in the form about the relationship between the two when you are asked, and when financial data on clients is provided, that you on the financial services that you have access to that information, but that is fine. If you want to give more specific information via the email, we can get back to you on that when if you want to could talk with the other colleagues.
Yes, Sam, I just
yeah,
posted on the chat an excerpt from the award guidelines where you can see this part of the eligibility, and this might be helpful for Joshua.
Right. But the shorter answer is yes, we welcome OGS entities, whether they are offering financial services themselves or in partnership with a credit provider, or in this case, savings cooperative. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other hand? We have one more hand up. Joshua again, I think.
There is another
Yep.
one on the Q&A. I can
Okay.
read it. It says, we are one of non-profit organizations, especially to work for food security program in our sector, but we are not working with any financial organization. So can we be eligible to apply for that?
So that the answer there really depends. We'll need more information on that. If you are just doing, say, for example, relief work, distributing food packages, let's say, to poor and hungry people, no, this is a inclusive finance award, not a humanitarian or relief award. But if you would like to send us more, we'd need more information than what you've said. Are there any ways that you work with, even if it's not sort of working with an MFI that's providing credit or something obvious like that? Are there cash transfers, remittances, any other potential financial services that would meet that threshold? I would suggest in this case, if, as I described it, it is just a food distribution, I don't mean to say just as in to belittle it, but in terms of eligibility, merely a distribution of food model, then the answer I think is no. If you'd like to send us more information in the email, then we'll get back to you ASAP with a clearer answer, if that's okay. But with the information you've given, we need some more information, please.
Thank you, Sam. I just wanted to ask, Joshua, do you have another question, or it's from the previous one? Because we see the raised hand. Maybe it's from the previous one. Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, we're very happy and we're very grateful that you could attend this webinar. Please keep in touch if you need to tell us anything, if you have any comments or more questions. Go ahead and write us an email. You find all the information, contact information as well on the website, the one that we posted several times on the chat, and of course the award guidelines that are there for giving you all this introduction to this year's topic. And please remember that we still have more than 2 weeks to apply for first round. So go ahead, you can do it at any time. The system is open all the time for you to apply. Just don't forget to submit your application at the end once you have all the information. If you find something that you cannot fill in yet, don't stop there. Just write a comment or fill in if it's a mandatory field, fill the comment with an explanation so we can know that there's something that's missing at this stage. But don't stop there. Please, we want to know your strategy. Maybe you have something really interesting that deserves to be highlighted, and we want to hear all about these great initiatives on the topic. So yes, please let us know if we can help. Applications, as I said, are open until April 12th, midnight. So try to submit before April 12th, and we'll be here to answer all your questions.
Thank you, everyone, and wish you a very good day wherever you are, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Have a nice
Bye-bye.
day. Bye.
Yeah.